Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of Rapid Fire. I am joined today by a mediocre miniature painter and all-round gamer, as I believe he describes himself. The quizmaster of the Conclave podcast, Rezza, is here. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's an absolute pleasure. Now, as we always do on this show, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put you through the Rapid Fire challenge. See how quickly you can do that. The quickest at the moment is 53 seconds. So that's pretty rapid. Now, I know you want to beat Quipster. I didn't want to name drop him so early in the episode and give him so much credit. But let me just see how quick he was. I can't remember now. I think he's about third or fourth in the table. But if I go back now, he was about 1 minute 26. I'm sure of it.
That's my goal. I don't mind,
1 minute 13. I was wrong.
Oh god, okay, it's a bit quicker.
So now you're going to get your chat on really quick. So the first thing we'll do, so rapid fire challenge. It's 15 quick fire questions. You get them out as quick as I can. I time them on our special device, aka my phone, and then we'll just go through after that, flesh out your hobby life a little bit, and just talk shit about Warhammer.
Sounds good to me.
Happy days. So if you're ready to go, we'll get started straight with the rapid fire challenge.
Let's try and beat him.
Happy days. So get your thinking hat on. Right. Your time starts now. How many years have you been in the hobby?
A year and a half.
What game systems do you follow?
40k, Age of Sigmar, and Battle Middle-earth.
What are your current armies?
Necrons, Ultramarines, Blood Angels, and a little bit of Grey Knights. Oh, and Shimon Mataram.
What was your first miniature?
A Primaris Intercessor.
What was your first full army?
Ultramarines.
What model or unit have you enjoyed painting the most?
Probably the Void Dragon.
What model or unit have you enjoyed painting the least?
Warg Riders.
What was the last model you completed?
A Death Company Smash Captain.
How much hobby time do you get per week?
Probably about 10 hours.
What is the current model you're working on?
Would be just a lot of tanks for Ashton Mataram.
This your single favorite thing about the hobby?
The people.
The least favorite thing about the hobby?
Social media.
Who or what got you into the hobby?
My doctor.
What keeps you in the hobby?
The people.
And what is your one hobby target for this year?
To paint 365 models.
I like that. That's a good challenge. But that is the end there. So Quipster was at 113.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does put him at the top end of the board.
Yeah.
You were talking shit about how you could beat him and felt that it was easy. So
did I lose?
As we said, the quickest time was 53 seconds. Quipster's time was 1:13. You did it in 1 minute 3. So you're quicker than Quipster, but not the quickest on the board.
Okay. I'm happy you're beating Alex. I'm not over him.
He's going to want me to create a whole new challenge just to come back and beat you on, isn't he?
Yeah, just anything law related, he'd annihilate me.
I wouldn't even know what to do law related. I've not read as many books as him.
No, I was talking to him about that earlier, and I haven't scratched the surface.
I don't know if anybody has read as many books as him, to be honest. Like that's quite a lot. So the first question that came to my head out of all of that was, I need you to expand on getting into the hobby. You said you're doctor.
Yes.
Expand on that.
I mean, a bit like Alex, I have a few chronic illnesses, and one of the biggest kind of factors of chronic illness is stress. And my doctor was like, you should get into a hobby like painting or meditating. And I was like, meditating, my brain don't work that way. I can't, not stop thinking. A lot of weird stuff is going on in his head. So I was like, painting, okay, I'll give that a go. And I'm not that kind of person who will sit down and paint a picture of a river. And I remember playing Dawn of War as a kid. And then an advert for Warhammer came up, and I was like, you know what, I'll give that a go. And I went down to my local store, bought a your little pack with an intercessor and like a few paints, gave that a go, and painted a little Primaris Intercessor as an Ultramarine because that's the way they're displayed. Of course. And then lo and behold, I now have 10,000 points of Ultramarines. God knows how many points of Blood Angels, Ashton Mataram army. So on the go, Necron.
That's a really impressive amount to amass in such a short space of time. Because obviously, you've not been in the hobby like long.
No.
and you must have spent. I mean, you must have not have any money. Is the rest of your house? Is the rest of your house just bare? Have you got no furniture? You've just got Warhammer.
Yeah, no. Well, so the Warhammer's kind of filled a void where, so with my illnesses, I can't play rugby anymore, which is my big love in my life. I used to play, train twice a week, play on the weekends, and it was when I was working, I was looking forward to going and playing rugby. Yes. So it's filled that void. So what I save on the membership for rugby, I put into the Warhammer. But also painting that much, I did spend like 6 months off work, not well, and then in that 6 months, I was just painting miniatures nonstop. So
it's a good thing if you can keep yourself in that loop of painting. I think we had a little discussion off air about being quick painter. I'm considered in my group the quickest painter because I'll start a model one day and then the next day it's done, or I'll start a unit one day and then the next day I'm putting it on Instagram. I'm like, how are you doing this so quickly? Like what? And I think like if you've got time off or you get into it, anytime I'm off work, if I'm not on holiday, I'm painting miniatures.
Yeah, it's just good to have that. It's that motivation. I'm very much like if I start something, I'm kind of like that's the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then also like when games were able to be a thing where we could play, I'd paint that unit so I could go play a game with them. So
are you a bit like me in terms of you can't really enjoy fielding an unpainted miniature?
Yeah, it does. I think that might be part of also the group I'm with as well. But I don't know, every bat rep I've watched, it's kind of like ingrained into me that, they should, well, not that they should be painted. It's just the way I feel. I don't feel like the other person can enjoy playing against me as much if it isn't painted. Yeah. So it's, like a kind of a contract that's unwritten, but also get the 10 points.
And you do. But like in our group, we've got the guys that don't paint, or, the painting is not the side of the game they particularly enjoy. So you've got grey tides or units that don't match. And this is nothing against them because I love those guys and I've played them any time. But there is something about two fully painted armies going at it, like the whole visual. That's when you can really, for me, that's when you can really lose yourself in a game.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. And if they're painted well, like I'm not, by no means am I a great painter, but when you're looking at like some of the people I've played against, the armies are beautiful. It just really, it really paints the scene, and it's just really nice. And it's also the time and effort you put into your hobby.
Yeah.
So
and
great.
Obviously there's different, that's one of those things about this hobby, isn't it? There's bits of it for everyone. If you're a painter, that's good for the mind, or sometimes the reading, losing yourself in a story.
Yeah.
You've got the conversion side of it. If you want to, spend your time thinking about new things, you've been almost like the engineer section of your brain doing bits. Playing the game, if you want to be that master tactician, or you wish you're in the army but never signed up and didn't actually want to die, it's those sorts of things. Like there's a bit of this hobby for everyone, and I think that's one of those really awesome things about it.
Yeah, you can turn your the point about my doctor is the painting bits. You turn your brain off to everything. So if I'm not thinking about why I'm in pain today or I'm feeling ill, and I'm just focusing on my painting, I can kind of just zone out the world, not have any problems.
So let's see if you're a bit like me then. So for me, if I'm painting and I'm in silence, my brain is thinking about stuff. However, the moment I put on a bat rep, a podcast, even some music, I love painting to some Celine Dion. That was a joke. It's not Celine Dion.
Paint those French girls.
It's Michael Bolton. Now, but then immediately that's when my brain is then completely occupied, and I'm not thinking about shit from work. I'm not thinking about any sort of, my brain likes to overthink like a lot of people's. I'm not doing any of that. It's purely hobby time. Yeah,
well, it's interesting you say that, because that's how I kind of got from the painting stage into playing. So I was painting all these models, and then eventually I was like, I probably should learn, I mean, I'm a massive gamer. I love playing like all sorts of video games. So I was just using them to like decorate my gaming desk. And I was like, I probably should like find out how to play actual Warhammer. And then I found Winters. And then I found Tabletop Tactics and all these people. So I started to learn to play Warhammer by watching these guys' videos. And it kind of escalated from there. So like now if I'm painting, I'm either talking to Alex and Quipstone and the rest of the Conclave guys on House Party, or I'm watching a bat rep, or listening to a podcast, or just listen to music.
I really wanted you to say Michael Bolton.
Bit Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift, gone for someone else. So for someone to be in the hobby for such a short time, yet you are part of the Conclave, which I'm a listener. I love the podcast. It speaks to me as a British male. You are interviewing some cool people on there. Like, I've been privileged so far, and you've obviously been privileged so far. So how the fuck did we find ourselves in this position? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. How I met Alex is probably where it starts. So I was about a month into the hobby, and I was like, I'm probably gonna go play a tournament. Be a good way to learn how to play. So I decided to sign up to it's called Winter Warfare by the London Wargaming Guild and it's played in like this little nerd dungeon in Shepherd's Bush. And I was member of the DCTV Discord. I was like paying for I was a patron, I think, and you can go on their Discord. So I put in there going, I'm going to this tournament on Saturday. Is anyone going to be around? And then Alex put, yeah, I'm going to be there. And I was like, oh, awesome. So then I met him at this tournament. My third ever game of Warhammer was at that tournament. I got battered by some Necrons. No idea what was going on. And then from there, we became friends. And then we became better friends because we both had chronic illness buddies. Talking about our lovely
it's morbid, but it's beautiful that you guys have found each other.
Yeah, we're both missing organs or having holes in organs and stuff. It's like, yeah, our bodies don't work, but we're friends now. And then so from there he introduced me to the kind of wider London group that of friends we have. Met Adam and Ed, who I've become really close to. Adam and Ed came up with the idea of the Conclave, invited me on. Then met Josh, a war hipster, who has his own YouTube channel. And then just like really good friends with all of them now. We're 30 episodes in and met all these amazing people just because I don't know, it's just the community is so niche and tight. People know each other and it just it's crazy. I don't really know, if I'm honest. I mean, Alex has a lot to do with it.
Alex has a lot to do with everything. That's why you're here. That's why, you know, I've had some of the guests that I've had.
Don't give him that much credit. I'm sorry.
Know, I don't. Oh God, no.
He's a knob.
It's like that bit when on one of your podcasts when Adrian was on and everyone was giving him the love from Adrian from Tabletop Titans and everyone was giving him compliments and you're giving him far too much compliments. His ego is going to be like up here somewhere. But
yeah, he's a dick. Really, he's a dick.
Off the camera, he's a dick. So obviously those guys are all massively into their lore. Sometimes, I mean, I've read lore. I know a lot of it. Obviously, I'm not like into it. I'm one of those where if it's not one of my armies or an army I'm interested in, I don't read the book. So I don't know why. I wouldn't even know where to find the time to do all the reading that these people do and the podcast, the audio books and stuff like that. So you must have learned a lot of lore along the way.
I'm going to say I feel like I have, but I'm not going to say a lot because it's just in case you put me to a test. But
no. This is not a test.
I am lucky.
This is not a test. This is purely, what would you say is your favorite piece of lore that you've either heard or come across so far?
My favorite piece of lore I've heard or come across. You know what? It was it's not something any of them taught me, but the Dark Imperium books.
Yeah,
like Plague Wars.
Great.
It
books.
was really good books. But just reading about Rebute Guilliman, obviously being ultimately my first army and still having.
I thought you were going to say reading about those lovely Death Guard, but no, you're going to shit talk them as well as Alex did, aren't you?
I mean, they came across all right in the books, but I mean, just like how human Guilliman was as a Primarch, and the way it was written from his perspective, that was probably the most interesting thing to me. I mean, I'm a massive It's really weird with Warhammer because I've read probably like 30 books now and I've not even scratched the surface of the lore. Whereas I've read all the Harry Potter books, I've watched I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan and I've watched all the Dragon Ball Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and you could ask me anything about it and I could tell you the answer. I can't answer anything of Warhammer. And I've read 30 books. Like Harry Potter's 6 books and I can know everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of those things that it's like that. How would you ever catch up? And I don't know. I think that's one of those things, like for me as a massive Batman fan, for example, I'm looking at the comic books that are up there. There's always something that's going to be new to read. There's always going to be someone's new perspective. And I think that's with the lore of Warhammer, because they've got so many writers and they've been doing it for so many years and it's been in codexes. You've got lore in actual books. There's just so much to absorb. I don't think any one person can read every book. I don't think it's possible.
No, you'd you'd have to have a lot of free time. You'd have to be retired.
Well, I'm not even in retirement. I think death would come for you before you'd finish.
Yeah, probably.
Even the Horus Heresy, that's like I don't know how many books long. So yeah, that's
Alex. Well, actually, all of the Conclave, apart from me, have listened to or read all of the Horus Heresy, and I've like not even read one.
I'm with you. I haven't read one. I've got guys in my gaming group that are like, "Oh, Horus Heresy, come play it." And I'm like, "Play it." Apart from what's been in the codexes, I don't know what the fuck is going on in it. Like,
yeah,
brothers hate 9 brothers. Got that. Horus
there was a fight.
dick.
Yeah,
got that. Magnus did everything wrong. Like, don't at me. But
yeah,
other than that, meh. Like,
it's all kind of happened. I'm one of those people where if I don't get caught up in the hype of something at the time, I find it quite hard to go and catch up with it. Like, I don't know, Breaking Bad is a TV series. Everybody talks about how amazing it is, but I never watched it at the time, and I don't have the motivation to go back and watch it. I mean, one day I might read the book. So
I also haven't watched it. So it's one of those.
You get
things,
my point.
Everyone was like Breaking Bad. I was like, yeah. It's one of the, like The Wire. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get to it. And then obviously the motivation to go back and do it is not there. Like, it's a big series to invest in. Can I be bothered with it? Is it really going to be that good? And I just talk myself out of it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. I'm exactly the same.
And end up watching shit like The Crown instead. So, you know.
Yeah, I've watched that. That was good.
I'm up to series 3, so I'm working on it. Speaking of The Crown and all of that, I want to talk about your Imperial Guard, your Astra Militarum, because I've never seen them themed in the way that you have.
Oh, really?
Obviously, you've got that British Army aesthetic.
Yes.
And I love that. It's like obviously, what's that game? Bolt Action. It's a bit like that, but obviously you've done it for the Warhammer universe. Like, what made you come up with that?
Really, just well, the idea. So I've always wanted to do National Military Army, but they're a lot to paint, quite expensive army to collect. And then my friend Josh, the War Hipster, is doing releasing a series called The Tale of Many War Hipsters. And the idea is just giving people the motivation to paint their dream project. And I love the TV series Sharpe, which is Sean Bean, basically James Bond in the Pennsylvania Wars, Napoleonic times. And then I always had this idea about theming the 40k army around the red coats, the green jackets, the elite, the riflemen. So Josh gave me the motivation to do it, and I just started it. And then you can buy these head swaps to make them have like the hats they have,
the beaver hats.
And I thought I needed to make it kind of fit the 40k time, so they still have the carapace armor over it. But yeah, the classic red coats, white trousers, black boots, and I'm gonna have a load of troops all lining up, ready to shoot. It'd be cool, but it's a real passion project. That I have to say, I have to thank War Hipster a lot, or Josh a lot, to give me the motivation to go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely here for that, and I can't wait to see like a picture of that completely up, because I just think that is going to look awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'd say keep your eyes peeled, because a picture of Sharpe, who I've painted, will be coming out soon on my Instagram.
Okay.
So by the time this comes out, it would be on there.
Yeah. As we film this, it's the 14th of May. When it comes out, 18th of June. Just like a whole month there. That's going to.
Okay. Yeah, definitely be on there. Probably with quite a lot of it done.
I was going to say, hopefully by that point, people will be able to go over to your Instagram and see what's going on, because, like I said, that looks like such an awesome.
Yeah, I kit bashed some Bullgrin to have the beaver hats as well. So I say kit bash, like they were just normal Bullgrin, but I green stuffed the hats. And tell you what, working at green stuff, the first time I've ever done it, that was a real pain in the backside. It was really hard. They look so goofy, but it kind of works because Bullgrin look a bit goofy.
I mean, yeah, they are pretty. They are goofy. They're like you say, they are. So stepping away from obviously the Imperial Guard, awesome project. Talk to me about Lord of the Rings Warhammer, or the strategy, Middle Earth strategy game, whatever they actually call it these days.
Yeah. So
obviously you got some of that. You've painted up some of that. I don't know. I mean, I would, if I knew anybody that played it, I would have like the Gondor army. I would love that shit.
Yeah.
Do you play it or just paint it like that?
I've just painted it for now, but the Badman Cafe, which is my local gaming cafe, they do have like a group where people play it. So I do know there's players around. and Ed, the Sandman from the Conclave, he has I think he's got a Gondor army. Yeah, I think he does. So eventually we'll get a game in. But I really like the models. They're so. I mean, it's literally just they're so from the movies, so accurate and they're so nice. Like the latest Treebeard model, that and the Void Dragon are my favorite models.
Like,
and it's
that
beautiful.
Treebeard model is insane.
Gorgeous, yeah. And I'm so happy with how mine came out. I mean, I followed the War Hipsters tutorial how to do it, and it's beautiful. It's probably one of the best things I've painted. And that's the models. That's basically what it is. I mean, everybody loves Lord of the Rings. If you listen to the Conclave, you hear us just talking and quoting it all the time for no reason. And it's just it's just a nice project to have as a palette cleanser. That's the kind of way to go.
Lord of the Rings for me, and I don't know what it is. There's something comforting about it. But whenever I'm sick off work, for example, and I'm ill and I've got like stomachache, whatever it might be, Lord of the Rings Extended Edition, start that first thing in the morning, and I will get through all 3 in a day. And that it's a comforting. And then all of a sudden, and then every time I do that, I'm on the Games Workshop website. I'm there with a pen. I'm going, right, if I got it there, and I would map, and then every time I go, but nobody would play it with me. Like I've got, so.
If you do, I'll give you a game. But I mean, for me, when I first started painting them, it was my manager at work. She was like really supportive to me, like a really good friend of mine now.
Yeah.
With my health when I was working, and she's a massive Lord of the Rings fan. So as a way of thanking her for a Christmas present, I painted like a load of like the Fellowship.
Yeah.
And then it kind of escalated from there. It's like, oh, I'll give these away, but I kind of want some for myself. So Uruk-hai's got some elves now. Yeah. Have my own Fellowship and Treebeard.
Yeah, I've done similar for my stepdad was a massive fan of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books, and I think it was his birthday one year. I think it might have even been his 40th, but I can't remember. But for his birthday, I painted him up and I put it in like one of them little plastic cubes, and it's the scene where Gollum and Bilbo are having the riddle off.
Yeah.
So Bilbo stood there, the ring in his hand, and Gollum's on the rock, sort of thing. And I did that and put it in a little case. It's one of the first pictures on my Instagram if anybody wants to go and see it. But yeah, and obviously, like I say, the models then, and they were the smallest, like Bilbo and Gollum.
Oh yeah, I painted one of her favorite characters. Weirdly, is Gollum. So I was like, I surprised her by painting Gollum, and he it's such a pain. He's quite easy to paint because he's like 2 colors.
Yes,
but doing his eyes and his lips and his nose is a pain. And Bilbo was
And that's the thing with Gollum's eyes, you can't really do the whole, I'm just going to put Null Oil and that'll count as the eyes, because his eyes are so massive.
Yeah.
Got to include them. And yeah,
obviously a bit goofy.
Yeah, I wanted to paint more. I had a load of Lord of the Rings Warhammer way back when I was young, when it first came out, like the early 2000s. But just over time, it's just found its way to various different places. And now I have none. Again, it's
the Conclave guys are quite like that as well. But they have a lot of stuff like that.
What I'm hoping is, this is my secret desire. Obviously, Amazon Prime have taken Lord of the Rings, and they're building a Game of Thrones style lengthened amount of series on the whole thing. I'm hoping that Games Workshop go ka-ching and people are lining up for the game again.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting, because also that series is set at a different time, right?
No, I think it's supposed to be set exactly the same somewhat.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be
I think it's instead of it being, obviously you got 12 hours of film, which was impressive, but I think they're looking to try and flesh out, because obviously in the
a lot of stuff is missed out. Yeah,
they missed out like the whole deal with the Barrow Whites, and they missed out all these other stuff like that. So I think they're going to go back and flesh out some of
that'd be cool.
Characters.
That'd be cool.
And it's always been a tragedy to me, because obviously I've read the book several times. Farmer Maggot is not the arsehole that they project him in the film. He invites them in and he gives them tea. He is not an arsehole. But
don't they meet who? Oh, I forgot. They meet the shapeshifter on the way as well, don't they?
Yes.
I forgot his name, but
Tom. Is it not Tom?
Bombadil, right?
Yeah, Tom Bombadil. Yeah, the big.
They meet him on the way, which is quite a big part in the book, so they didn't really talk about.
No. So who's your favorite Lord of the Rings character then? You said Gollum was one of them, but is he your absolute favorite?
So the Gollum isn't mine. Gollum is my friend, so I painted it for. I'll probably say I'm going to cheat this answer. So I will give you 2. Samwise Gamgee is the real true hero. So I'll say him.
He's the cheerleader. I like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, Frodo was all like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do it." And Sam got him there, and he's the only ring holder who gave up the ring.
He is, and
willingly.
He also has the best line in the entire film franchise. Well, two of them. One is potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Is one of them, and obviously for anybody who's read the book, when they're in Osgiliath, and he goes, "By rights, we shouldn't even be here," and it's because they never go to Osgiliath in the books.
I didn't realize that actually.
Yeah, they never go to Osgiliath in the books. They never get like captured by Faramir and taken there. So that's a complete. In the film, they made a joke of it by saying, "By rights, we shouldn't even be here." So, anyways, that's Samwise.
And then Legolas, because Legolas is mainly the films. Because I mean, in the books, he was nowhere near as probably cool, but in the films, he's just a badass.
Yeah, I mean, firing the 3 arrows. And
taking out a Mumakil.
That still only counts as one.
Yeah, he's cool.
he is cool. For me, it would be Aragorn. I don't know why. Aragorn and Pippin.
Pippin. Okay. Why Pippin?
Pippin goes through like a massive character arc of a mischievous little shit to all of a sudden he pledges himself to Gondor. He's one of the first ones to run down the hill at
saves Gandalf.
Saves Gandalf, and also when they go and do the last stand at the Black Gate, it's him and Merry who start running first. They're the slowest, but and bravery.
That scene does stick out in my head.
Yeah, their bravery comes through in the end. They're the first ones to go and start running. So cool. I love that. So Blood Angels.
Mm-hmm.
you got to Blood Angels from Ultramarines, which is a good choice because Ultramarines are plain boring and toilet. So what drew you to them? And obviously you've got your little forlorn angels, I think they're called, a forlorn.
Yeah, the forlorn angels.
Can you say that word?
Yeah. Forlorn angels.
Forlorn angels. What drew you in, and what made you go for like a spin? Obviously, a spin on it is in like a slight homebrew twist to it.
Yeah. So I mean, so I've been quite a competitive gamer throughout my life. I've played Pokemon to quite a high standard, like the Nintendo game, and Gears of War and stuff. And whenever I do gaming, I like to be the proactive person. So I always felt like Ultramarines were quite a reactive force when I used to play when I did play them. Well, I still play them, I guess. And Blood Angels were the opposite to that. They're very proactive. They're in your face. They're fighting. I mean, and also the fight phase is the most fun phase. And then I met Josh, the War Hipster, who is a massive Blood Angels advocate. And let's just say he wore me down. It didn't take a lot of effort, but
do you want to Blood like, Angels? Yeah, all right then.
Yeah, and then so I was like sold, fully on board. Then I read the novel Dante, and that's probably my favorite Warhammer book. And the arc he goes on, the journey he has, and who he has as a person. The Blood Angels accept anyone. Anyone could be a Blood Angel. You don't have to be the fittest, strongest, coolest, craziest, bravest, most mental person ever. You can be one arm. Well, no, you probably need 2 arms, but you need to at least hold a bolter. But they would accept anyone, and for a world that doesn't have a lot of good guys, they, with their flaws, they sometimes are the good guy. So that's kind of what drew me in. And then I decided to do my own chapter because being friends with people like Alex and watching a lot of Winters, the narrative style of the play is appealing. I like both styles of games. I really like the competitive, like testing myself, but being able to forge my own story and having like in mind like what my characters do and my units do on the tabletop and reflecting it, I was like, that'd be quite cool to have my own chapter. And also, if I ever wanted to just say one day try out what a Black Templar style of play was like, I could go, today my full-on angels are full-on Templars to see what it's like, or full-on hands if I want to do Iron Hands something. So it just gave me the option to be flexible with my army, but also have my own Blood Angel successor because they're awesome.
They are pretty cool, except for, and I know you had a discussion about this on your podcast, except for the Neabs.
Oh yeah,
on or the Hot Cross Bun, I think it was also called.
The Hot Cross Bun, yeah.
I also wondered what was up with that. They've got abs, which is lovely. They've got pecs, which is lovely, and then they've just got a weird knee section.
I can't explain it. I haven't even converted them out. I just saw them, painted them like, oh, okay. I don't even question it at the time until Adam was like, I don't like those legs. I look at him going, yeah, like bums for knees.
What is going on?
What is going on?
That's some Slaneshi shit right there. Like,
yeah. I mean, if that's the worst thing someone can say about them, I'll take it.
I mean, you can't really, because they're a fucking awesome unit. Like they are.
Yeah, they're savage.
They hit hard, and then you don't really get to hit back. It's yeah, they are pretty meaty, and that's one of the guys in our group plays Blood Angels, and they are hard. We did manage to get to a Ragnar Blackmane and Mephiston showdown one time.
Oh, that's cool.
They killed each other.
That's perfect.
It was just the best.
Thank God Mephisto didn't kill himself because his plasma pistol kills himself.
Luckily, it was in the fight phase, and obviously because of how I think it was how Ragnar worked. Mephiston killed Ragnar, but Ragnar got to fight before he died, sort of thing. And it was one of those things where everyone stopped playing and came over to our table because they're like, "This is awesome!" Like it was.
Yeah, that would be a cool fight to see in the books.
It was.
Although I think Mephiston would win because he is a bit overpowered in the books anyway.
We had similar tactics with them. We both put the HQ. So I put Ragnar with I can't remember what unit in an impulsor, and he put Mephiston and a unit in an impulsor, and that's where they met each other.
Yeah,
and that was just like couldn't have written it better, sort of thing. The way that we put
perfect.
Them out. Yeah. So I don't want to give him too much credit, obviously, because he's a dick.
He's a dick.
Apparently, but
love him really.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question just to make him happy a little bit. What is your favorite model from his army?
Favorite model from his army?
Oh, he's either his custards, and I'm talking about custodes, or his other custards, the yellow Marines.
I got an answer. I have an answer that will actually annoy him. So his Alaris.
This is better. This is me just fucking stirring the pot.
Yeah, and his Alaris. So Quipster's Alaris Terminators, for several reasons. One, they're all beautifully painted, apart from that one he's missed. That one bit he's missed on that one model, and also he for such a narrative player, Alex is. He brings 9 of them, 6 of them on the list quite consistently. And there was one game where he did that to me. And let's just say they got absolutely obliterated by my Blade Guard. So, yeah, that would be my favorite model because 1, he's missed a bit. 2, I've killed them. And 3, they actually are really pretty. And he's a really good painter, to be fair.
Except for when he misses bits. Why does he miss bits? What is that?
Missed that spot. He still hasn't fixed it. He's missed the spot.
I suppose it's one of those things where you're like, I'll do it. I'll get to it. And then you just don't get to it. I think I've probably got models where it's like, I'll get to that. And then next time I play with it, I'm like, shit, I'll get to that. And then.
So the thing is, he don't tell him, but he hasn't actually missed it. We're just doing it to wind him up.
There's a good chance I don't know how many he watches, but there's a good chance he might watch this one.
Yeah.
And he might
realize.
He'll
probably have painted some more by then and probably missed a bit on those ones.
Or he'll just watch to see how much time you've got and then like just shut the show down. That's fine. Fine. So when is your first indoor game? Because obviously restrictions are lifting as of Monday, and we can start playing people in an indoor setting again, which is awesome.
If everything goes ahead fine and there's no more trouble, Tuesday coming will be my first game in God knows how long. I'm playing Ben, who's one of the guys on our hobby group, and there's Tyranids, which will be fun because he's playing the Dimacaron list. So
even though Tyranids aren't particularly high on the meta at the moment, that is one list which is kind of standing the test of 9th.
Yes, it's quite a powerful list, so it'll be quite an interesting game. I mean, I'm quite a fan of a competitive game, so seeing how 1, I stand up against it will be nice. 2, even if I lose and horribly, I'm going to learn a lot from the game, which is all I kind of really like. That's the competitive part of the game I really like, is just learning, making myself a better player, and it fills that void. Are you taking
Blood Angels for that?
Yeah,
that's the right decision.
Yeah, my Blood Angel. Yeah, it'll be quite cool to
Well, they're going to get up close pretty quick because that's what Tyranids do, and you're going to want something that's a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll get to reenact Devastation of Baal. So, well, with my art, so I've got 2. it'll be them on the Necrons, because the Necrons I painted all over lockdown, but I'm not comfortable playing them because I have no idea what they do, let alone. Yeah, I need to read up on them. So yeah, Blood Angels will be what I bring. Get the boys out, get the Sanguinary Guard chopping stuff up.
and I think they will. I think they'll be rather successful, but it's a horrible list. I think it's all over the internet. Just how I've not played it, but it's all over the internet how kind of that list is one of the few for the Tyranids, which has, it's still relatively useful in ninth.
So. John Lennon piloted it, and then it became quite the hype. But those models are not only they're really cool, like massive dinosaur bug-looking things.
Huge, yeah.
But I can jump over buildings, which is really cool. So I'll be interested to see how it goes.
But terrifying, because they're jumping over buildings at you, which is not what you want.
They'll get first turn charges off, I think.
I mean, that's all you want, really.
Yeah, always be charging.
If you get saying that, yeah, if you get first turn, depends on how the deployment's set up, isn't it? Like it can be, they might get to you quicker than you get to them, but you kind of want to get to them a little bit faster than they get to you. So
yeah, well, I'll have some tricks up my sleeve. I'll bring in Judicia, make them fight last.
That's the best way of doing it.
Maybe some eradicators to blow it up. I don't know.
They're pretty tasty when they want to.
They're pretty good.
So with all of these games and you're learning, do you keep like a book or anything like that on games? Is that how you learn, or are you purely brain box? Because I keep a book. Every game that I've played since coming back to the hobby a couple of years ago is in a book, and literally I make little notes as I go along to try and help correct myself, because my brain doesn't work like that. My brain won't store that. Are you pretty good at memorizing those sorts of things?
I mean, I've got quite a background in like competitive gaming, so I usually just kind of take a mental note. Sometimes I do note stuff down, but I've kind of fallen out of that habit. But mainly I just kind of, I wouldn't say call myself a brain box by any means, but I have a lot of experience of like trying to improve and playing tournaments with different stuff. So I think it's just, transferable skills almost.
Yeah, and that's awesome, because my brain don't work like that, which is why I gave up the competitive scene way back in my teens, because I was just getting battered most times, left, right, and centre. And I don't know, until I started keeping the book, I then learned tactics, but I have to really deep dive into an army. The first time I play with my Eldar and my Grey Knights, I'm going to get absolutely pounded. Those games will belong on Pornhub, because it will be pretty X-rated. But I'm pretty good with my Death Guard, although I've not used the Codex yet. Obviously, knowing how they work, I've really deep dived into them.
Yeah.
So with them, I win probably more than half of my games these days.
I mean, saying that, actually, I tell a lie. I do use a notepad for like key stratagems for me to use.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, rather than having to flick through a load of pages, I'll have like, this like one CP for transhuman. This is pretty important, which is obviously a really obvious one, but I don't know what I've done with that because I haven't played in a year, but I did do stuff like that for tournaments. But I'm not like Alex. Alex would keep he keeps a spreadsheet with like when he's lost a game, and he'll do like why he's lost a game.
Okay. I mean, in our great gaming group, we've not really used it much. We kind of started it, but we keep scores of how many wins, like win percentages for each person throughout the whole thing, and who's played who and how that all works. It wasn't me. I'm not technologically advanced enough to ever come up with that. It was one of the other guys who works with spreadsheets for a living. He busted it out in about 5 minutes. But that's a pretty cool way of like keeping track of who's beating who's got the good win rates, who's doing what, and break it down by armies.
What army is doing well and stuff. I'm quite self-critical, so after I've played a game, if I lose, I'll sit there and think about my job is where I work for a bank, and I'm a manager and a team leader, and I'm a business coach. So I do sit down, I really think about what I can celebrate from the game and what I can consider, so what I can do better, and I'll self-analyze like that. But no, maybe I should keep notes. It might make me better. But
it's only made me marginally better, but I think that's just my play style. I'm too narrative. Yeah. So I'll look at something and I'll go, right, that character there should come back here for protection or to create a bubble or whatever.
Yeah.
That character wouldn't run away from those. He's going to charge them. Get in there. And
I fully respect that style of play. That is cool.
I was much worse when I had my Space Wolves, because I would literally be like, right, Wolf Lords, don't run, get in there, in you go. Yeah. Space Wolves, full stop, don't run, get in there. Like I was never really, the narrative always overtook the tactical. And I still do that now. I kind of think, yeah, fuck it, it'll be more fun.
I respect it. I'm a very competitive guy, so I probably wouldn't do it, but I really respect that kind of style of play. I think it would depend on the kind of game I'm playing. I'm playing a tournament, maybe no, but if I'm playing with like a mate for like just a laugh, then for sure that would be something I would do just for the banter.
Well, just know that I will always charge. So if you ever play me, you already know what I'm going to do. I'm coming at you.
I mean, I play Blood Angels. I think you know what I'm doing.
I mean, I play mainly Death Guard, so I'm not too worried. You can just come in.
Oh, yeah, I think you're pretty good counters for us at the moment. You're like, we bounce off you quite badly. So it'd be quite an interesting game.
It would be a good game.
Get me thinking.
Just saying. Right. So one of your little things that you do on the podcast is similar to how I came up with the little challenge that we do at the start of the show. You come up with little challenges and stuff like that. I can't come up with another challenge. Loads of people are like, oh, my time's shit, I want to come back and do another challenge. And I'm like, I don't have another one. I've got nothing that's timed. I don't know what I can do remotely. How do you come up with these little random challenges like shag, marry, avoid Primarchs and whatever else?
I like to say that I'm just an absolute genius who sits here and goes, that's an idea straight away. But we are a pretty creative bunch as an individual, not an individual, as a group. The shag, marry, kill one was quite an easy one because we're all big fans of Tabletop Titans, and they have like an ongoing thing about them being married to Primarchs, and so I was like, that'd be a good laugh. I'm just a bit silly, really.
that's what it takes.
Yeah, it takes us being a bit silly, wanting having a laugh with it, and coming up with stupid ideas, and then I'll throw something out in the group, and then Adam, Ed, and Alex are all very, very smart. We'll probably embellish and add on to it and help me out, but I'll come up with a silly idea, and then it kind of goes from there. So basically, I'm stupid.
Silly. There's a big difference between silly and stupid.
No, silly, silly.
And maybe I need to try and be a bit more silly, and then
just get your silly hat on. Just go the fun, crazy idea.
Let's think. Obviously, I do sit here. I do write some questions down. Maybe I should just write, which Primarch would you most like to finger bang behind the things at Nando's? Maybe that's the sort of thing that I should come up with.
Yeah, and then get your audience to vote for the winner.
Would you like to be finger banged, or would you like to do the finger banging? It depends what you want to do, really.
I've always wanted to, I don't know what the next quiz, but I've always wanted to ask the guys like to sell. So that, like a sales pitch was also a good one that we did, but to sell me what like power weapon would be their power weapon of choice.
That's a good one because.
Yeah, get you thinking. It's like it could be quite cool.
Immediately in my head, I've gone fist.
Oh, okay.
I've just
finger banging to fist. Okay.
You can see where my head's at today, can't you? Now.
Yes.
So I'm thinking fist. Like that's gonna.
We'll do some damage.
I mean, that's a good question because
I mean, the power sword is classic and it's cool, but then lightning claws.
I can't imagine anybody going for a power maul.
No.
Does a thunder hammer count?
Thunder hammer, yeah, power weapon, anything. So everyone... melee, we'll go melee. But I was thinking lightning claws would be quite an interesting. Well, would be Wolverine, but you're a space marine.
I've decided I'm not going to do a sales pitch, but as a Nurgle Death Guard player, the flail of corruption, I'm just going to fucking swing this shit around and try and take some people out.
Yeah, so that's one idea I've had. So you could do We just had a little one there for the viewers. Not really a sales pitch, but that's a.
I totally expect to see that one pop up on a future podcast episode.
Yeah, it might take a bit more selling to the guys. I need to come up with some more for the quiz because we haven't done one in a while. Actually, you've reminded me.
Sorry about that. I think the last one was possibly the one with Adrian. I'm trying to think of one before that, like the Shag, Marry, Avoid or Shag, Marry, Kill one was the main one that I remembered from your podcast.
Yeah, the sales pitch went down quite well as well. I've got to get one prepared for tomorrow because we've got Mr. Stephen Box on the coming on to have a chat with us. So see if I can get something competitive related.
These awesome guests just keep coming. What other sort of what are the other sort of plans for the Conclave podcast, or do you just kind of go from week to week and just fucking wing it? Or is there a bit more? You've got some smart guys in there, yourself included, don't sell yourself short. Obviously, is there more of a plan about how to keep going forward?
I wouldn't say we have anything clear planned. That we've toyed around the ideas of maybe potentially doing back reps and other stuff, but it is very much week by week, and it's kind of almost tailored towards what's happening in the Warhammer world, right? So the latest episode is just about Age Sigmar 3.0, 2.0, the latest release. I can't remember that coming out. And then obviously it depends what guests we have on. So I would imagine our podcast tomorrow will be a lot about competitive gaming because Mr. Box is on.
Yeah.
So a bit in between of like winging it and kind of going with the flow and toying about with ideas. I mean, like, so people like the Sandman's launched his own YouTube channel now. It's going really well, which is the Gotcha Guide, which has got some really cool videos. Okay. Quip's has got his things of DZTV.
Yeah.
Adam and I did start our YouTube channels, but we both, Adam's particularly really busy with work, and then I kind of lost motivation with work and my health and stuff. So we're all floating around with ideas. But we're usually quite good when we come up with something and we want to get it done. We get it done. So yeah.
As I say, I mean, you've not like missed a step in terms of like the release schedule. So you've obviously you're at least doing the basic thing that you guys came up with. You're keeping that rolling. You're not, because if you start missing and it starts being hit and miss with podcasts, people go, they find something else. If you can keep that release schedule for that's why, for the 3 people that watch this show that I do, it's one
of our jokes.
You noticed I stole one of your jokes. Yeah, for one of the 3 people that watch this show, it's every Friday at 5:00. That's the release schedule. So yeah, and if people know that by now, particularly if they're one of our few subscribers on YouTube and stuff like that, and I think that sort of helps keep the motivation up and keeps people listening because they know when it's coming. It's that reliability factor.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we try to do it like every Wednesday or like evening time. We try to release it, but editing's a lot of work, which I'm sure I've only started really this side of the year. Really started kind of helping out with the editing stuff because my PC wasn't good enough at the time, and then I decided to go get an absolute mental gaming PC, which now I can help with some of the editing because mainly Ed and Adam are doing a lot of it.
Sometimes it takes me about 3 attempts to upload it to YouTube or whatever because it just fails.
It's very lengthy. Like, our podcasts are 2 hours long, so you not only do you record it, but then you've got to listen to yourself talk again for 2 hours. And I hate the sound of my own voice. So I'm sitting there listening, going, "Oh, shut up, Richard." But then,
I avoid that at all costs. I try and do as little editing as I physically, humanly can. I'll edit in the bit at the end and any seconds that are left after. Whatever happens in the middle, unless like the dog barks like ridiculously loud or somebody knocks on the door or something, like this shit's just gonna flow. Whether it's
luckily we don't edit a lot of stuff out. Only times I think we've ever edited stuff out would be something like crazy's happened or someone's disconnected halfway through because internet's a thing and it's not always reliable. But yeah, mostly it's just because it's just quite long. So you do listen to it all just to make sure that, sometimes people go out of sync for no reason. And it's like, you're talking about something and Alex is talking. Alex loves to go on a tangent, but when he goes off on a tangent on a point that makes no sense in a conversation, you've got sometimes to sync it back up.
Yeah.
Or I've done a mistake on the editing and I've unsynced everyone and I've got to go do it again.
Yeah. I've luckily not had to do too much. I think the only 2 times I've had to edit were when I was talking to Craig, OG Paintworks, and his internet cut out completely. And I thought, I'm just going to make this really obvious. So in between the 2 things, I literally just put up a picture of a moose and it just kind of had a little running thing along the bottom saying, apologies for the inconvenience, there's a moose in the lines, be with you shortly or something. And then obviously it popped out the other side and we're like, oh, we're back. And then the last episode,
that's kind of brilliant.
The last episode with Lady Kane, Chloe, my dog came and jumped on my lap and then ran to the door needing a shit. So I was like, I've got 2 choices now. She can either shit on this cream carpet and I can gag through this episode, or I'm going to have to cleverly edit. So I just made a joke of the fact that she's gone for a shit and put up some pictures of the dog just with a little running ticker tape, because why would you not?
That's quite a cool thing you can do. See, now I've just hit the camera.
I know. I'm not editing that out because that's only a few seconds. But yeah, I literally had to go all the way downstairs. Obviously, it was like a 5-minute gap or so. So yeah, obviously I did some clever editing on that. But you know, that's the way it is sometimes. So you said you want to paint 365 models this year.
Yes.
How far are you through?
I'm not on target for a model.
I want you to say 12.
No, I'm on something like 90 to 100, I think. I haven't actually updated my tally. Okay. But as you mentioned, like yourself, I'm a fast painter. But now my biggest project is Astra Militarum. I'm pretty sure I can catch up because I could probably get through a squad of 10 guardsmen in a day. Because
and that'll get those numbers up easily.
Yeah. That easily. So, well, I think I'm on about 90 odd. Just really getting the motivation to paint. And now we're playing again, and also take a part in Josh's latest kind of video series, which will be coming out. Yeah. I think I'll do it, which is funny because Alex probably paints like 50 models a year. So it's quite
by
nice.
Some standards, that is still a lot.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And they all look amazing. That haven't painted 50 models in the 20 years they've been in the hobby. So, you know,
they're night players.
Exactly. Knights and custodes. You've only got to paint 10 models and you've got like a 7,000 point army. It's brilliant.
For sure. I've got an Imperial Knight I need to paint actually. My idea of it is going to be the bodyguard of my General Wellington.
I like that.
Which is a pretty big bodyguard, but you know, he needs to have something good looking after him.
I mean, that sounds like such an awesome thing. Like there's this huge, massive machine that costs, I don't know how many, Imperial credits, we'll go Star Wars. I don't know how many Imperial credits protecting this one general. And it's like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, well, Lord Wellington is an important guy.
Well, I don't doubt it for a second. It's important to, you know, the old British history and stuff. So coming towards the end, the last question I always ask people is, obviously this hobby consumes most of our lives and takes most of our money.
Yes.
And devoids us of women sometimes. What are your hobbies away from the big hobby?
My hobbies away from the hobby. So I'm a big gamer. So it's playing. I play a bit of League of Legends, Call of Duty with the boys.
Yep.
Rugby is a massive rugby and cricket. I love sport. So I can't play rugby anymore because of my my stomach problems. But I've dabbled in like coaching or watching my team play, and in cricket I can get away with playing and go down to net. So sport when I can, and you know, classic like cinema and stuff. I'm a big movie guy. I love to go to cinema quite a lot. Or gaming probably is the biggest answer to that.
I mean, cricket. Now, when I was younger, because of my granddad's influence, I really enjoyed cricket. As I got older, which is when people should get into cricket, I don't know if I've got the time to watch a game that takes 2 weeks to play. And I don't know if I can be watching people fight over a trophy that's that big. Like,
it's the history, but it's the lore behind it.
It is the lore behind it. I know it's the burn, but I don't know. I've lost patience with cricket.
I can see where you're coming from. It's like the way I got into cricket was the 2005 Ashes, which is them fighting over that little trophy that England hadn't won in like 18 years. And then from there, I was kind of hooked. And then when I was off work really ill, the cricket 2019 World Cup, England won it for the first time in God knows how long. And I was glued to the TV watching that. And it was amazing. I mean, for me, some people were like, someone throwing a ball and hitting it with a stick, but it was a big thing, and it was very much like rugby is my first love. Rugby is what I always loved to do, and cricket was to keep me fit and keep me fit when you just stand in a field for a few hours. But no, keep me fit for the winter when rugby season came out around. And then the older I've got, the more I've got into it. It's like a podcast. But like a podcast, you have it on in the background. So it's not like I know England will be batting all day. Well, actually, to be fair, lately England will be getting out in 10 minutes and then watching India bat all day. You just have it on the background while you're, you know, doing something. So Oh yeah, I love it. I love all sport. Really.
I did used to, but I've just kind of grown out of it. And golf, I don't.
No,
what is
I
the
don't
point?
like golf. I don't like
No,
golf.
there's no point in whatsoever. But
Maybe when I'm older.
Yeah. I know one day I'm going to go golfing, and then it's just going to be like the best thing ever. And I'll be like, oh, I'm a golfer now.
I think that golfing is always that excuse, like to go spend a day in a field with 5 of your mates, walking around, hitting a ball and following it. And I think the big selling point is it's away from your family or wife, your responsibilities, and just hanging out with your friends, right? But we've got Warhammer to do that.
I was going to say, literally, that the void of that is filled with Warhammer. You want to get away from your partner and kids? Fine, head to your hobby desk and paint something. You really want to get away from them? Go hang out with your mates and put little toy soldiers around a board.
Yeah, go play in a tournament for a few days.
And then come back a few days later like, hi love, I'm happy again, I'm good.
I lost every game, but it was fun.
Bugman's was brilliant. That's literally, yeah, it's a good hobby. I think at the end of the day, Warhammer wins, Games Workshop win, because no matter what shit they put out, we will buy it.
Yeah, but I mean, that to tell you how bad a hobby is, I was going through a pretty shit time. I was really ill and unwell, and then I started painting these models, and then I met loads of cool, really nice friends from it who I hang out through the whole of lockdown, playing Call of Duty, hang around a house party, who made lockdown somewhat bearable. And even though one of them is Alex, who is a dick, now joking, I love him to bits. It's a hobby that's brought all like these people into my life who otherwise I would never have met or even spoken to. And I get to meet cool people like you and people like Winters and, you know, everybody. It's amazing how Warhammer brings everyone together, as long as they're not losing their minds over, I don't know, Jukari being good at the game for
those guys usually have beards around here somewhere. I can only really kind of echo that sentiment. You know, when I came back to the hobby in about 2017, after kind of I was in 7th, I pretty much missed all of 8th. And I sort of came back towards the end of 8th, I guess. I'd got a few models and I was on holiday. I just set up my Warhammer Instagram, the one I've got. And I was drunk, I was pissed, I was proper hammered. And I was just messaging back and forth with this guy, Carl, who's now part of Loaded Bolter. And I was messaging back and forth, and we were talking about Warhammer and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, dude, if you're ever down my way, we should play. And I was like, yeah, where you from? And he named the town. I was like, dude, you live 15 minutes from me. You live, and he was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, I live here. And he was like, oh, this is really cool. So drunk talking, obviously just continued. So when I got back from holiday, I messaged him. His name's Carl, but I went, hi, Colin. If you fancy a game, give me a shout. And he replied, just going, it's Carl. But yeah, I have a game. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake, because I was drunk and I just thought the guy's name was Colin the whole time. And yeah, but now he's part of this group, and he's one of the people I've played and lost to a lot. In fact, I've only beaten him once in the 2 years now that we've known each other.
Oh wow, okay.
I've only beaten him once.
What does he play?
Orcs.
Oh, okay.
And Space Wolves.
Oh, awesome. That's quite a cool combo.
Are pretty much unbeaten at 2K level. No idea why. He's just an awesome player. He's just the tactics. I don't want to give him too much credit, because him and his tank busters can go fuck themselves. But I
mean, Alex has only beaten me once, and we've played a few times. So, and the one time he beat me by 1 point, and Costos were reasonably. I don't want to give him an excuse, but they were quite strong at that point.
I mean, you've outplayed him. You've outplayed him. And
he played well.
And this is how we're going to end the show on a bombshell. Is it only 1 point if he fielded those models which have a missing bit of paint?
That's a good point. I should take
because actually you get the 10 for fully painted and he doesn't.
You know what? You're spot on. You need to go tell him this.
Yeah, quick stuff.
I'm unbeaten against him.
It was actually 11 points. Fuck you.
Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Well, there you go. You can have that one for free from me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, all that's left for me to do, dude, is to say thank you for coming on.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to obviously let all of you guys know, I mean, you probably follow them more than you follow me, but you'll find Rezza on the Conclave podcast, where they talk shit about Warhammer in a style that I really appreciate. And obviously he's got his own channel now. What's your
Rezza Prime? Same as my Instagram, is Rezza Prime.
Oh, that'll be below. I'd always do that way. It's that way. It's below his name. Yeah, there you go, down there.
Somewhere.
All his details will be down there, and you'll be able to find him there. There's a cat behind you, and that's how we're going to finish it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, dude.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.